Leanne Holitza here. How's it going? All right, time for our weekly oracle reading. Let's see. For some reason, the ancestors want to play today because the Amanda Ellis ancestral healing spray jumped out, so we're going to use that for all of us. And Seraphonite wanted to play, and that is for being the healthiest version of your ancestors yet. All right, so I guess we're working on that. If you guys have not joined me before, you type me please in the comments and you will get a card. I often looks like I'm mostly reading for YouTube because on the YouTube channel, it lets you comment early. So that puts you to the top of the list, where Facebook makes you wait until it's time and it's live. So just know I'm coming from both directions and I will get to you guys as soon as I can. I am going to really quick read who's at the bottom of the list, just so you guys know I'm coming. But it'll take me a minute. So Stephanie R, Deanna, Miranda, Joe, Hannah, you guys are kind of towards the end there, just so you know. If you guys are local, and there is a special sale going on at the crystal shop in the back here. So it's a little duck sale where you get to find little ducks, and that represents either getting something for free or some sort of discount. So check it out. It's open till 5. We have a sound bath tonight that still has a couple spots, so you might look into that too. Those are all local things. Of course, we have a lot of virtual stuff too that we do here that you guys can attend. So just check out the website. My website, insightfulinspirations.com, is probably the best, and clicking on the events button at the top. Okay, so let's do this week first with the Yantra deck, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so beginning of the week, we feel a little stuck, okay? So we feel a little bit like we're, when we're in that labyrinth energy, it's like, am I going forward? Am I going backwards? What's happening? And this is basically just saying, keep doing what you're doing because it's evolving you. And sometimes it's not clear what's happening yet, and you got to wait anyways for clarity. The helper card or the focus card for the week is breath sideways. Now, the way that this is be with your breath. Don't necessarily control your breath or do things to manipulate your breath, but just be with your breath. Check in once in a while. Am I breathing shallow? Am I breathing deeply? What does that even mean? That kind of stuff. So just give yourself a chance to recognize that this week. And then stillness is upside down at the end of the week. Okay, so what that's going to tell us is that you guys are going to be busy. It's going to be a busy week. So towards the end of the week, get ready for some extra energy to start amping up. I know it will do that anyways because of some of the astrological and kind of phases that we're in, but just pay attention to the busyness and stay with your breath. All right, here we go. So now we're going to build on that. We're going to build on that with the Alice in Wonderland deck. I like to use this deck when we're kind of feel like we're going through some sort of transition, and I want it with ourselves. And it's kind of important for us to recognize what part of that transition are we in. Okay, so here's your first card. If you guys are watching this later, thank you. If you're watching live, thank you. And if we're watching, no matter what, this is going to be your first personal card that's building on the reading that we just started. If we see a card 3 times, it's for all of us. If you hear a message and your name is not up on the screen right there, then it still could be for you if it resonates. Okay, so hi Jennifer, I see that you're posting new here. Just type me please when I can get to you. I will get you a card. Okay, so here we go, guys. Here's the first card for you. Just see what you resonate with. 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so just kind of tune in. This is your first card for the week. All right, if you picked 1, you have choices and you're feeling blocked and restrained by those choices. Now, this is going to be a week where if you stay with your breath and you realize that you're busy and things are transforming, some of the message here is that the choices have already been made, and where you are is just another leg in the journey of choices. So I'd like to say sometimes we're in like a highway version of choices where like we have a long way to go with something we choose. And sometimes we're just in like city streets where we can turn and turn and turn. And so just kind of pay attention to how that feels. If you've got 2, you're working on we're all mad here. Everyone's a little bit different. Okay, so this card is just basically telling you to embrace the fact that not everything's going to make sense. You don't make sense to yourself sometimes. The people around you don't make sense. And this week is going to be no exception to that. Just embrace it. If you picked 3, you've got, I wonder what will happen next. Number 2, okay, in this, that is the very beginning of the journey. Okay, so being curious. It says ready to adventure, precipice of change, pause before action. Okay, so remember at the beginning of the week, we were kind of feeling stuck and like we're not transforming. We're being asked to check in with our breath. And then this card basically is saying, get ready. Here we go. Okay, all right. So here we go. Let's start with, so pay attention to the screen, just if you are because sometimes we have the same name showing up multiple times. So for the first card I'm reading is for Gina K. Okay. Gina, you're going to shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this. Okay. So 36. This is like a big thing. This is like the candle might blow out kind of thing. And then what? If the candle blows out, then what kind of question. So give yourself awareness that you are kind of questioning, can you get through this? And that's what this week is going to feel like. But the truth is, the answer is yes. And even if you come out very differently from this week, it'll be through your own protection of yourself. Okay. CC, you're working with the 19 energy of who in the world are you? Getting to know the new you. Okay. So things are just changing. There's parts of you that haven't started getting to like integrate. And so this week it's going to be a week to integrate some of that, but it may not make total sense with everything you've done in your life. So sometimes we have to get rid of some things in order to get there. So just be aware you're integrating who you are right now. Courtney, you're going to be working with 37, nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messengers. So getting outside, paying attention to the sky, the trees, the whatever is around you and what the messages are that you hear. So just kind of giving yourself that that place to acknowledge that the cycles are really important sometimes. Okay, nature cycles. Jenny, you want to be a queen this week, 33. Okay, so this says stating your sovereignty, declaring your freedom, and passing the test. Okay, so if you combine that with all the other messages, this week is a good week for you to be on your own side, have your own mech, give yourself an opportunity to follow through with your own word. Say whatever you said you wanted, whatever you chose. Now is the time to go forward with it. Heidi, for you this week, you're going to work with the never jam today. So this is where the queen is like, oh, you can't have jam today. We only have jam yesterday and tomorrow, which means never jam today, right? So promises that never come to be, empty words, and not living in the now. So this week, you're going to really want to look in where you're feeling rejected or you're feeling let down, and including by yourself, and give yourself the opportunity to recognize that being present is your gift right now. Okay. I mean, it always is, but Nicole, you're working on wondering what will happen next. So if you picked 2, that's doubling down. This card is the second time we've seen it. Okay. So this is just saying ready for adventure. I mean, sorry if you picked 3, precipice of change, pause before action. So hold on. Things are going to change. There's going to be another shift. I know you're probably like, how many more shifts can I go through? We're at the healing studio. We definitely, some of us are asking, okay, lessons, but you can calm down now. I'm listening. I'm learning. So just kind of be aware that the universe loves it when we listen, and it gets easier when we do. So that's just pause before you get going again. Seth, you got 41. So you're at the end of something, some sort of cycle. And this is conditioning that falls away. It says, forget who you are. Memory no longer defines you. Okay. So kind of letting yourself transform from who you've been told you were, who you thought you were, what other people are saying you are, and just kind of get back to a recognition that we're kind of always reinventing ourselves every single day. Okay. Barbara, yep, happy St. Patrick's Day to the I don't know if that's good to say or not these days. Messages for the rabbits, services to the animal world. Okay, so paying attention to the animals, do things for the animals, gentle ideas of the animals. We had a big snowstorm, and one of the squirrel nests fell down, and it was evident that the squirrel had eaten our little cloth hammock swing because it was all in its nest. So take care of those animals this week. Patty, you're going to focus on investigating things. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. Don't make assumptions this week. This week is a big week for you to be really curious. Curious about yourself, curious about how you created what you created and how what is around you got created and how everybody contributed to it or didn't contribute to it changing. Okay. Diane, for you this week, you're going to work on falling. Okay. The unknown, descent, momentum, change. This is when she just falls and falls and falls down the rabbit hole, okay? She will hurt herself if she sticks her arms out and tries to stop the change. So this is basically saying don't resist change this week. And just know you're not really going to even know what that means until later. So just stay with the breath. Rob, this week for you, you're going to be waking up, okay? It's your moment. Wake up. See what is really yours to see. Be documenting, make new relationship agreements, give yourself an opportunity to notice a little bit more than you did yesterday. Okay. Lisa, you're in choices. Okay. So second time we've seen this. If you picked one, we're doubling down. Feeling blocked and restrained. There's been a lot of blocked energy. Okay. Momentum is not there right now, at least not to our visible senses. So just know that some of this stuff is in kind of hibernation, and the choices that you said you already made with the guides and with your creation space, just stick with it. It's already happening. Okay. Tiff, you're going to be falling this week too. Second time we've seen this. So it might be for us all this week, but just it's changing. There's nothing to do yet. It's unknown. It's unclear exactly what's going to happen next. Okay, Kelly, for you this week, you're going to focus on forgetting who you are. So second time we've seen this again. Okay, so conditioning falling away. No, your memory no longer defines you. Who you've been in the past to anybody else is changing. Okay. Matthew, you're going to work on waking up. Second time we've seen this. Okay. So you and Rob are going to be wanting to document what you are noticing, what is new, what perspective are you gaining, and how can you see things for a little bit more of what they are rather than what they've been told that they are. Janice, focus for you this week is you cannot go back to yesterday. Be in the present. Okay. So anything that's happened cannot be undone. It's already done. So be here with what's happening now. Okay. So focus on today. Check out when you get nostalgic. All right. Third time's a charm, Mountain River. Brought it for all of us. Choices, feeling blocked and restrained. I'm going to read the little blurb. Okay. This is for all of us now. So here's this is a little blurb from the book of Alice in Wonderland. There were doors all around the hall, but they were all locked. And when Alice had been all the way down one side and up the other, trying every door, she walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. So this also is saying don't give up too soon. Don't feel daunted by the changes. So if you think about the labyrinth and things like that, okay? So this week for all of us, the choices have already been made. There's more choices to be made. It feels like the doors are locked, but they are not. Okay, we just have to find right time, divine timing, divine action. Janelle, you're working with impossible things this week. Working through disbelief. Okay, imaginative loops, fresh perspective. Anything's possible when you dream it to be so. Everything was an imaginary before it became real. So just kind of be in that space with yourself this week. A little more whimsical than normal. Donnie, keeping up for you. Okay. So immense effort and advancing. So this week is going to require you to keep yourself to your schedule, to what you committed to. The time might not be your friend this week, especially with that other card that says check in with your breath, and we're going to end up getting busy. So just, be aware of all of that. Ground yourself with time. Christy, things are getting curious and curiouser for you. Discover, inquiry, weirdness, curiosity. Just be with the weird. Things are changing. Kira, you're going to focus on it's always tea time, eternity, endless moments and repetition. So really getting into those habits and recognizing those habits might be serving you, or they could be changed up a little bit. Finn, you're going to work on becoming braver. Okay. So this says resilience, experience, growing stronger in your fresh perspective. Okay. So give yourself an opportunity to fresh perspective yourself. Tanya, got some uncertainty to embrace. Choose what you will become. Know that it doesn't really matter what is going on in front of you if you don't have a good solid grounding with yourself. So being uncertain with what's going on, but have your own back about that. Okay. Kimberly, oh, I shuffled, so they want to keep going with the uncertainty energy. Okay, so this is actually a really cool message. When we get uncertainty, this is basically saying who you think you are is getting undone, which gives you lots of freedom to rewrite the path, to give yourself a new space to go in. Sometimes it feels really crazy to be so in between, but the in between is where miracles happen. Cynthia, okay, I shuffled you guys. So this is third time's a charm and they're wanting to bring it boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I'm going to read it, the uncertainty, but this is basically, I mean, it is what it says it is. It's like choose who you'll become in this whole thing and have your own back. Okay, here's what it says. The caterpillar and Alice looked at each other for some time in silence. At last, the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth and addressed her in a languid, sleepy voice. Who are you? Said the caterpillar. This was not an encouraging open for conversation. Alice replied rather shyly, I hardly know, sir. Just at present. At least I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have changed several times since then. So this is okay for all of us, you guys. Embrace that you don't know who you are right now. Embrace that you're in between something, that you're rediscovering and redefining. Stay with your own energy. Don't abandon yourself right now. Okay, blossoming lotus. You got growing up, okay? Wanting to grow and experience a rejection of perpetual youth. So you are wanting to really grow and mature into something this week. And so focusing on that as something to get done. Okay, Shannon brings the falling card for third time's charm for all of us. Okay, so into the unknown we go. We have choices. We're letting go who we are, and we're falling into the rabbit hole this week. Okay, so this is third time's a charm for us. So this is for everybody. Listen up, Shannon. I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth. This is the in-between, what we're letting go of once was known and moving into a new life, unknown outcomes, complete immersion in the process of change. Okay, woohoo, you guys. Big week sounds like. Makes sense though. Okay, Kalina, you're going to work on the right way, learning to create what you desire. Okay, so really being in charge of your own authority, being in your own creation space, not giving yourself any victim energy or the opportunity to feel sorry for yourself this week. You choose you. Okay, Taryn, who in the world are you? This is the second time we've seen this card. Getting to know the new you. Okay, so time to, with that unknown energy we're getting, that uncertainty, start to ask yourself, what makes me happy? Eli, you're following the white rabbit. Curiosity meets opportunity down. You start to follow the curious steps this week. Ask lots of questions. Be curious. Know that you're just at the beginning of something. Chloe, keep your temper this week, okay? Don't allow your anger to rule you. So that's just very straightforward caution. Don't let anger be the thing that drives everything. Okay, find the lesson for shine your light, okay? Discover the purpose in a situation and trust you are learning. I know we were just talking about this. It's like, the lessons. Okay, Crystal, you're bringing up painting the roses red, covering up errors. So you really can't cover the errors up. So owning up to things that maybe you've been trying to avoid, about mistakes that you've made. And it's okay to go and say you're sorry. It's okay to be imperfect, especially when we're redefining ourselves. Robin, you're working on nature communication, getting outside with those flowers, the fairies, and the elementals, paying attention to the cycles and paying attention to how things restore and recover. Austin, you bring in third time's a charm for us. This card makes sense. Who in the world are you? Makes sense with the uncertainty and falling and change. Everything about who you know you are could be changing. Okay. Who in the world am I? That's a great puzzle. A fascination to getting to know yourself again. Grow into your new self. Okay, Jordan. Nonsense for you. It's time to talk sense. This is where you just shush everybody else. You shush what the world is trying to tell you you are, and you just give yourself an option to say, no, I don't accept the nonsense. Taylor, you've got a moment's regret, nostalgia, idealizing the past, fearing you're making a mistake. You can't go back to yesterday is the message. Don't get too stuck in your past and telling yourself, oh, those were the good old days, because the good old days are still to come. And this week, you're just being asked not to get stuck backwards. Okay. Terry, you've got to find the lesson. Same thing as Katie. Discover the purpose of this situation and trust that you are learning. It can be a little frustrating when you're just like, please get me through the lesson. This is enough of the teaching already. But sometimes it's just a surrender and trust that you are learning. Hannah, see, I told you guys I would get to you. Here we are. Sorry, it's taken 20 minutes, but here we are. You can't go back to yesterday. Okay, be in the present. This, I mean, pretty much what Taylor got, pretty much what we heard before. Don't get stuck in the past. Don't go backwards to where you think you had it better. You're going forward to where things are expanding for the better forward. Manage to be glad, Joe. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. This is really a very disciplined work, isn't it? When you have, check your stress hormones, check the way that you're participating with stress. Miranda, you're going to be working with impossible things, okay? Working with disbelief, imaginative leaps, fresh perspective, giving yourself a little space to be able to just say, I don't really know if this is made up in my head or it's actually happening, but either way, it's fun. Deanna, law is not justice, okay? Rules that are just not fair. Sorry to give that message for you this week and all this change, but I get really frustrated too with how much injustices there are, and this card is just kind of saying, just let it go. Don't hang your hat on feeling upset about that. Stephanie, you're going to also say nonsense. It's time to talk sense, okay? So give yourself a chance to, if somebody else is out there saying something that they're saying is, not making sense, or you're just tired of the brainwashing energies, just say no. Carrie, you're becoming braver, okay? So resilience, experience, growing stronger, getting a fresh perspective. You're getting your feet about you. You are starting to understand yourself more and more in this change you're in. Gina, you are rare and free. There aren't many like you. You're starting to embrace your unique perspective. This is sort of towards the end of the Alice journey. Give yourself an opportunity to really define for yourself that uniqueness, and the thing that makes you happy to give to the world. Kara, bringing 3 times the charm for us nonsense. Okay, it's time to talk sense. All right, here we go. I'm going to read it. The queen turned crimson with fury, and after glaring at her for a moment like a wild beast, began screaming, "Off with her head! Off with—" "Nonsense," said Alice very loudly and decidedly, and the queen was silent. Courageously stand up for yourself when someone is behaving in a silly or unfair way. Okay, message for all of us this week, but Kara, especially for you. Cameron, you got keeping up, okay? So immense effort and advance. So that's the second time we've seen that. Pay attention to your clocks. Pay attention to your schedule. Do what you say you were going to do. Show up where you say you're going to show up. Be on time where you have said you will be, okay? Jennifer, we made it to you, and you got 4th time's a charm for the falling. So hopefully you heard what we already said. But I'm going to go back to the message since we've seen it again and again today. It means it's for all of us, but I'm going to read a little bit more from the book. It will end. There will be a new place and a fresh way to begin to explore. For now, surrender to the descent into the passageway to the next life. The fall is the moment before rebirth. The best possible response is to relax into the fall, Observe and wonder what will happen next. Don't fight it. Okay? All right. It's for all of us, you guys. All right, Naomi, you are not too late. It just takes me a bit to get down to the list. Okay, this is the third time's the charm for this too. I wonder what will happen next. Ready for adventure, precipice of change, pause before action. We are really in it, aren't we? Big change, big change. Here we go. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and having nothing to do. Once or twice she peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it has no pictures or conversations in it. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? This card is saying we're longing for excitement. We've already made the choice to go to the excitement, to go to the in-between. Let yourself go there. Don't be afraid. Sandy, don't drink the poison while we're doing all this, okay? Do not do things that are bad for you. Don't go to the places that you know are just going to end in you feeling kind of slimed, okay? So careful about that this week. Karen, you're brought fourth times the charm choices for us, okay? So feeling blocked and restrained. So let's see if there's another little message to read here. Basically, it says, if you peek through the keyhole, as Alice does, you will see the doorway leads to the loveliest garden you can imagine. You must find your way, though, because the delights that lie on the other side are worth the test. The challenge is how to reach the place. So I keep hearing from the guides, you guys, the choices have already been made. Go ahead and give yourself the option to to search for the pathway, not be afraid of the search. Okay. All right, Bahar. You're going to work on following the white rabbit. Okay. So curiosity meets opportunity. Ask lots of questions. Assume that there is new adventure lying in front of you when you let yourself go back into the in-between. Desmina, investigate this week. Okay. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. Give yourself the opportunity to really find out all of the things that are going on before, and making an assumption will get you in trouble. Okay. All right. Well, see, it always comes out like a fire hose, you guys. I get through the whole list of all of you. Thanks for joining. If you're hanging out and you haven't typed me, please feel free to do that real quick. I am going to throw one more card for who we maybe are letting go of, if that makes sense. I'm gonna do it from a different deck just to kind of get us. So I'm gonna use the White Light Oracle deck. Okay. So this is gonna be so we're getting such a message of like, let it go, let it go. Oh, hey Sarah, I'll get you an Emily for sure. Okay, just one sec though. What are we letting go of this week? What persona or ego attachment or whatever are we really hanging on to that we're not letting transform? That's what I'm asking. We got the Queen of the Nagas, okay? And this basically is about connecting with your heart and being open to the most authentic self. And you're letting go of any of the teachings that are not actually aligned with your authentic self, okay? So any social conditioning that is telling you you're supposed to be a certain way, there's two messages with this card. Be in integrity and drop any places that you're not in integrity, and take yourself to a powerful space of protection, and let your feelings be your feelings. Okay. So you're letting go of any false energies that you have around feeling how everyone tells you to feel. Okay. All right. Sarah and Emily. Sarah, you're going to work on who in the world are you. We've seen this card now multiple times. So this is also for all of us. Get to know the new you. Okay. So this is time for you to get yourself into an awareness that, you're defying the assumptions of who you are. This week, we are releasing our self-definition so we can be in between and see what is getting created that's new. Emily, you brought this third time's the charm for us. Keeping up, immense effort and advance. Okay, so what I keep hearing from the guides on this guide is have your own back with regards to time. Show up when you say you're going to show up. Write your schedules down. Pay attention to your calendars. This week, when you do that, that will pay off, because as there's chaos and lack of definition, time is one of those things that we can have a relationship with that can ground us. Okay? All right. Hey, Michelle, if you want a card, just type me, please. And I will give you one. Okay. So that's pretty much the end of it, you guys. If you are feeling um, into the surrender part of this, grounding is the best thing to do. Okay. And Michelle, here's your card. Okay. No need to fear. That's a good ending message, isn't it, you guys? All right. Remember how protected you are. Protect yourselves, arms length around you in all directions, you guys. Energy field. Keep yourself nice and solid. Don't shrink for anyone during this time of change. Let yourselves be who you are becoming and go be amazing. I'll see you next week. All right. Bye.